expected it, fell a 33-year-old receiver off his couch, a receiver nobody wanted for the whole football season until 2 weeks were left, 3 weeks were left.
Right.
And nobody wanted him all last offseason. Nobody bit on T.Y. Hilton, who obviously made, what was it, 4 Pro Bowls?
Made 4 Pro Bowls, yeah. I think he had 5 1,000-yard receiving seasons in Indy.
And he was a big-time receiver.
Yeah, he was legit. 1,300 yards, 1,200-yard receiving seasons.
I got to tell you, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm just desperately clinging to one little shred of hope here. He has been a godsend.
Was it the 3rd and 30?
Well, it's been, I'm going to show them to you because I just had our great staff pull them out. Because he is a technician of a route runner. He is the highest IQ at receiver, and he has convinced the coaching staff and, more importantly, my quarterback, that he can be trusted under fire in the biggest moments because he will be right exactly where Dak expects him to be. And he will catch the football with clutchness hanging in the balance. When it's time to make a huge catch, he makes huge catches. Now, he's caught 5 so far in 2 games for 102 yards, but 4 of the 5 went for first downs. And if we can start back.
What about that first time he got on the pass interference on Slay?
Okay, well, that's,
you count that first,
about where we're going to go. Okay, let's start there. Let's start with that play. This is a 4th and 3 play against, I'm sorry, 4th and 8 play, not 4th and 3, 4th and 8. And they have the conviction to throw it to new number 16 on this out route on, you could argue, the best cornerback in performance this year so far, right? And he gets an illegal contact, and Slay, to his credit, he just threw up his hands like, you got me. You fooled me, and I had no choice but to latch on, right? Okay, so that's 4th and 8 at the Philly 45. Well, it was a pretty big early play. That's early in the second quarter of the Philly game, obviously. And then the play you bring up, which might be the play of the year. It just might, I don't know any one bigger. This is with 8 minutes left in the Philly game. Still game hanging in the balance. It's 3rd and 30 from the 29.
And I think you're down at that point, Skip.
Yeah, I believe we were down. So 3rd and 30. It was Dak's best throw of the year. And just as important, as you know better than anybody, it's not that easy to catch that ball.
No.
It's not that easy. And he had to go down to his knees to just make sure he hung and wrapped it.
Like he started to lose his balance right before the ball got there.
He did. It's a hard catch. It's a hard throw. It was a great play. It was the signature moment, you could argue, of the season, because that was a big game to win, even though it was Gardner Minshew. It's still a big game for my team to say, okay, we're okay.
Well, you would have no chance at the division had you lost that game. They would have sold it up with that win.
And also, you might be reeling. If you lose it, then I don't know, can you get back up in time for Thursday night, even though it was Joshua Dobbs at Tennessee? I don't know. I kept telling you, my fear is they're going to lose to Philadelphia, lose at Tennessee, and then lose at arch rival Washington.
Because that had been back-to-back losses. Remember, you were coming in that game after you had lost to Jacksonville.
Okay. So now, speaking of Tennessee, we go to Tennessee. And would you believe I'm going to show you 3 straight 3rd down plays in what was a way too close game, obviously, that sort of hung in the balance into the 4th quarter. But the first one's a 3rd and 5 play. This is 7:42 left in the first quarter. 3rd and 5 from the Tennessee 37-yard line. And he goes to guess who? Well, this is 3rd and 5. It's a big deal early in that game to set the tone. Is there not trust there?
Yeah.
Do your eyes not tell you, oh, Dak, he likes him.
Right.
Okay? He's going to go to him when the chips are down.
I don't know what that DB is thinking. You see him pause.
Remember,
so he's not running a go route, son. Drive that.
Okay, remember, they're playing back.
Okay. You're right.
I don't even know.
Man, I totally forgot. You're right.
Okay,
you're right. My bad. I apologize.
I'm afraid he's like beneath your criticism.
Okay, you're right.
All right. So then we got the next one's another 3rd and 3 at the Dallas 39. This is 9:23 of the second quarter, and let's see this one. This is 3rd and 3, so it's still nice a key play. Right? Yeah, it's just a nice slant where he goes inside instead of outside. And Dak trusts, I'm going to throw it to you because I believe you're going to catch this. Yeah. It's not Noah Brown because I never know quite sure. Noah Brown can make big catches, and you know he can make bobbled up pick 6 interception plays, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's one more. This is late in the 3rd quarter. Game is still sort of hanging in the balance. It's a 3rd and 10 from the 25. 3rd and 10 now. 3rd and 10. Dak had a rocky second quarter, and he flips it to 16, who gets loose and ends up going for 28 yards on this play. Okay? I'm not saying he should have made the Pro Bowl off 2 games, but...
No. But that's what you're getting for, Skip. You get a guy like T.Y. Hilton, you know you're bringing him in for a short period of time. He's there to give you a few plays a game, and if he can do that, it's very valuable. He's giving you those plays. He got a pass interference that kept a drive alive that led to points, and the 3rd and 30. Yep. Because I'm not so sure, Skip, if you don't pick up that 3rd and 30, I don't believe you win that game. I believe Philly's going to look at where Philly's going to get the ball.
I don't either. 3rd and 30?
3rd and 30.
As you well know, the psychological damage you do to the defense because you know what they're saying in the huddle, like, God.
They know, and I tweeted that, I said, it's over. Because normally on 3rd and 30, what do you see teams do, Skip? They just dump it down, punt the ball, and live to see another day. But give the Cowboys
I don't know the math on it, but the statistics on it have to be
it's less than 10%, got to be. Maybe less than 5%.
I might go lower than that.
Okay.
On 3rd and 30 in the history of your league converted, it's just, it's virtually impossible.
Like 8 for something.
Okay.
I mean, we're not talking about a pass interference or anything like that. We're talking about a completion or a run.
Okay. Now back to my guy, C.D. Lamb. You once termed him C.D. Dam because he deserved it at that point because he was dropping too many balls. And he came and he went, and he came and he went. And all of a sudden, here he comes.
But you remember what was the turning point? What did Jerry Jones say? Jerry said that's the number one. We need you to make those plays.
He did. He called him out a little bit, and he sort of through the back door.
And he took off after that.
Last 3 games, this is C.D. Lamb at Jacksonville. Obviously, they lost in overtime, but they were ahead 27-10 late in the 3rd quarter.
Right.
He caught 7 balls in that game for 126, and I told you the next day, well, at least there's a bright spot.
Right.
7 for 126 against Philly. He got 11 targets. He caught 10 of those for 120.
Right.
Okay, and 2 big touchdowns in that game. Okay, I'll take that.
Yes.
That's a pretty big-time performance. And then at Tennessee, he gets 14 targets. So here's the targets. They go 7 at Jacksonville, 11 at Philly, versus Philly, and 14 at Tennessee. So you can see what Dak's doing.
32 in 3 games, so basically 11 targets, a little over 11 targets a game.
Okay, they're going 7 to 11 to 14. So either Dak or Kellen Moore or somebody is saying, you know what, we're going to feed the beast over there.
Well, Skip, that's the guy that can produce the yards and produce the touchdowns.
It's almost like what Brady finally did with Mike Evans. He said, heck with it. Like, he's the guy. They hadn't had a touchdown pass together for 11 games.
Yep.
So he just said, I'm just going to start throwing to him, and surely something good will happen, and it started to. C.D. Lamb, I believe, has emerged to be what I thought he was, which is a top 10 receiver, because over the last 3 games, he is tops in targets and catches in the National Football League over those 3 games.
Right.
Well, they're the 3 games for me because they're setting the table for what could come. He has emerged as a guy that I trust a little bit more than I ever trusted Amari Cooper. You know what I thought of Amari? He changed Dak's life for a while down the stretch of 2018 because Dak would not have the contract he has right now without Amari Cooper's assistance. Right. Everything changed overnight. Remember, they're 3 and 5, and he walks in. He did play in the game that they fell to 5, but he wasn't. He'd barely been there. 3 and 5, they take off. They go the next week and win at Philadelphia, and then it just boom, 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 and they end up winning a home playoff game before they lost to the Rams out here. But they took off because of Amari Cooper's presence. Well, it took a first-round pick to get him out of John Gruden to Dallas, but he had been a high first-round pick for the Raiders.
He was a top 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was a top 5 pick.
All right, and he's made a couple of Pro Bowls.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you believe the Cowboys receiving core are good enough to make a deep playoff run?
I do, because he has emerged. I still see glimpses of Ghost Gallup. I see glimpses here and there because he still can make big touchdown catches. If you ignore him,
he make the circus catch, but it's the routine that they'll throw it right to him and he'll like bobble it and drop it.
Lately they haven't been throwing to him very much because his targets are going down.
Well, he had one game. I think he had 1 target.
Yeah, I wrote down all his targets, but you're right. It's not. Yeah, he had 1 at Jacksonville. He had 1 target. He caught 1 ball for 2 yards. For 2 yards? Okay, that was at Jacksonville. All right. This brings me to why am I bullish? Dalton Schultz is pretty good. He's not Shannon Sharp.